right? So a little bit of background.
Sorry, everybody. Remember,
Can you hear me okay? Or are we on mute?
yeah, go ahead. You're good.
All right. So I'll set I'm going to set a little bit of a table here for us. We want this to be interactive with you folks. So in between chewing the pizza, which is, we had no choice in what pizza it is. We just figured we'd bribe you a little bit, get the pizza coming in. But what we want to really talk to you today about is when you go to planning 2024, some of the things you should look at. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be encouraged to come to a 2024 planning for real estate. So what we're talking about is how real estate, which is your income generator, drives down into the incomes and things that you want to look at, how to put taxes away, how to keep taxes on the side, definitions of certain things. And really, this meeting, if we miss anything, please chime in and go, hey, Ken, Dave, what about an LLC? What is that really used for and how can I use it? Hey, Ken, Dave, why do I need life insurance? Hey, Ken, Dave, what's an HSA and how do I take advantage? You know, stuff like that. If we miss it, just give us your word. This is interactive. We're not going to hit you with about 100 slides and different projections. Dave and I have been working with KW now I've been working with him for 2 years across the country. Dave has much more tenure in that. We work with the top 5% of the groups that are out there from an individual standpoint as planning clients. For us, we are advisors. And this is why Keller Williams asked Capstone to deliver you guys the benefits that we have in place right now, which we're going to review real quickly, even though I did do it a few weeks back. Make sure that if you have any questions, we can answer them. And so we're just going to go through some basic planning side. And if you guys have any questions on a one-on-one basis, individual stuff will be hard to answer in a group. I'd encourage you just to take a 30-minute one-on-one call with me and Dave, and we'll be able to help you through whatever questions you got out there. Is that fair? Show a nod if you guys heard me. Thumbs in the back over in LA Harbor. So right now I want to introduce you to Dave Capozzi, Senior VP. We both come out of the Nashville office. We're not sitting together today. Tomorrow we will be when we go visit Memphis. But Dave, go ahead.
Nice to meet you, everybody. My name's Dave Capozzi. I'm Senior VP here in the Nashville branch of Capstone's firm. One thing I did do is I put up in the chat is my email address and my phone number. And I don't know whether or not that's something you guys can see from where you're sitting, but the most important thing, the relationship between Capstone and Keller Williams is communication. Just like the most important, we're on the same team. As a partner at sort of the national level, I know you guys speak a lot to different vendors, either locally or nationally. We are not a vendor. We are your partner. I personally have been working with Keller Williams since 2018. The relationship started in the Southeast region and has grown nationally. And I know you've all read Mr. Keller's book, and he says you've got to do 3 things to be successful in this industry. You have to protect your life, protect your income, protect your health. That way you've got those things in place, and from there you can build a good practice. What we do as Capstone is we are fiduciary planners. We are registered investment advisors. We're not just button pushers. We're not just order takers. We develop relationships with our clients the same as you do. Good value-based relationships that are based in education. And the key to success we find for folks in the real estate industry is really leveraging the education, leveraging the resources that you have. And that's the great thing about Keller, is it's a community in basically an organization that's built around education and practice growing. So the foundation of what we do is we provide solid benefits for folks in Keller Williams, for folks in the real estate area, something that really isn't very much available to folks in other real estate areas. And Keller Williams has their own health insurance package, their own health insurance program. I know Ken's looked that over in a second here. I'll bring up so you guys can see where you can access that and access that immediately. This is particularly an excellent time to look at that. Most folks may have spouses that they do get their benefits through, maybe through their organization, through their job. Some folks do stuff on their own. This is a great alternative. We find it's been helpful for a lot of people. So the health insurance is a basis, but along with that, other benefits, life insurance, disability income insurance. And I want to stop on that one for a moment because a lot of folks in real estate aren't even aware that that's something that's available on a group level. Disability coverage is the opportunity where if you are injured, if you are having a health issue and you are not able to get up and go to work, and let's face it, you are your own best resource in the real estate world. Your ability to get up in the morning, have the feet hit the floor, go out and create the relationships, create the business. You are your own greatest resource. And goodness knows we just came out of a pandemic. Something does happen and we are sidelined because of our health or because of an accident. It's something to assure that those dollars continue to flow. And this has never been more important. So we provide resources for all of that, but more importantly, and what we're going to focus on today is really practice building, personal wealth building, and personal success. As fiduciaries, what we do with our clients, and our clients are agents like you, folks sometimes who are just starting out, folks who are the top 2% of producers nationally. Everybody joined into the real estate world for one thing, and we know that's the fantastic hours, right? No, it's the fantastic opportunity. It's the chance for you to create not only a great career path for yourself, but if you are successful to create hopefully legacy wealth for your family. So you need in real estate, because we only get so many hours of the day, you need to focus and really do everything you can do to build those relationships, to build your practice. But at the same time, if you're so busy working in it, it behooves you to have some help working on it. And that's why we partnered with Keller Williams. We help folks not only get their own personal situation set up in terms of the irregularity of cash flow in real estate, but creating them into regular wealth building and meeting regular needs along the way, all the way up to building practices. So that's really who we are and what we do. And again, I would say the most important thing I would say for anyone in this meeting way to take away is take the time, visit with Ken, contact him directly, carve some time out in your schedule for a 20-minute Zoom or an hour meeting. Take the time to see where you are, see what your goals are in general, see what's important to you as we transition into a new year in a very changing market, and see what you can do to leverage the education and the resources around you so that you can laser focus on your practice, at the same time know you're going to get the results that made you want to be part of this industry to begin with. So I hope that helps and sort of sets the frame of who we are and what we do. What I wanted to do next is just take a quick moment, and I want to go over and make sure that everybody knows where to go for the basic resources in terms of the health insurance, where to find that online. I want to talk about a few key concepts, and then candidly, it's going to be an open forum. What's important to those of you who took the time to be here today, what's important to you is important to us. So if we take 10 or 15 minutes and we answer some key questions and everybody has a chance to be sure to set some time with Ken, fantastic. If there's great interaction and we fill the whole hour, wonderful. But rest assured, this is your time, and we're hoping everybody at least gets one or two ideas that are helpful and for themselves and for their practice. Before I jump in and we take a look at the health insurance, we talk about a couple key concepts coming into 24. Are there any questions? Is there anything anybody wants to be absolutely certain that we'll cover today?
LA Harbor, the guy in the back, definitely got to have a question, right? There he is.
Not
Anything
yet.
you want us to come?
Not yet.
Not
No.
yet.
We're just so-
Who's here? Who is a new agent that's here? First year agent, second year agent?
No, pretty much veteran agents in our office.
All right. How about over in the CP area? How about in yours? Anybody new? You have a new
Yeah.
agent? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, first thing I want to do is I just want to make sure that everybody knows where to go if health insurance is something that is top of mind as most folks are into their enrollment period now. Some folks that's expiring for a lot of major corporations, either mid-month or by the end of the month. This is your website, realagentperks.com. If you just type in realagentperks.com as one word, or as you can see here, it's realagentperks.decisely.com. It's going to take you here to the Keller Williams landing site for your health insurance package. And to be honest with you guys, this stuff is incredibly user-friendly. I don't want to bore you to death into going into deductibles and all that. I mean, it's all here. First thing is you could start by putting in your information. It will take you through, and based on your zip code and your state, it will take you through to what's available in terms of plans and who you wish to cover. But if you're looking for just basic information, Keller Williams has produced a nice little video here that you can click on. That's an overview. And most importantly, there's a really great FAQ right here at the bottom that you can click on, and it's going to answer all of your basic questions. But to be honest with you, the most important thing of all is just come on over here to the right, the blue box. You can look at the plan designs, the deductibles, how the health savings account will work into the different types of plans. It's all right here. Very, very user friendly. So just want to be sure everybody knew how to get over here to that. One additional thing, like I said, is this is really just the foundation. It's not everything. Okay. There's other things that are very important that you need to consider. Long-term disability, accidental coverages, short-term disability, life insurance. Now, again, this is a true group life, group health insurance plan. For disability coverage for life insurance, there is also true group coverages, but there's also individual coverages as well. So folks who maybe have had health issues or issues getting coverage in other places, speak up, call, ask. There is a group coverage in there that a lot of people have had success with. Very, very limited underwriting. We've had a lot of situations nationally where folks, because of either their age or their health, they haven't been able to get this coverage for themselves and their families, and their families. We've been able to help. So that's, again, really the answer. The most important thing is if you think you have a need, or if you want to get in depth, again, reach out, make the call, give us a holler, shoot us a quick email. The most important thing is let's take the time and look at your individual situation.
One of the things to note on that is you don't if you have your spouse covering you in a health plan, you can look at the other items that David mentioned, the disability, the accident, the life insurance, independently from the health plan. So you don't have to pick them all. There's also dental and vision, that if you don't like the plan that your spouse has, you can look at the plan that's being offered with the Keller Williams group side of things. So
Guys, guys, do you mind just taking a step back for, maybe those on the call who are new to exploring what insurances are, and just briefly describe like each type of insurance, like disability insurance? What is that for? Who does that cover? Why is it relevant to us? Things like, break that down a little bit more for each of us, because you came off pretty quick. Thanks.
Okay. Disability coverage specifically, or disability income insurance. What this does is this protects your income. The number one thing that takes people out of being successful in the real estate industry is not a change in taxation, a change in interest rates, or a change in market. The number one thing that interrupts or ends careers are age or health related issues. And unfortunately for folks in real estate, because each of you technically is your own small business, it's been very hard for folks in the real estate industry to get disability income insurance. Now, disability income insurance, in its purest definition, is this: if I am injured or sick, and I'm under the care of a physician, and it is in my record that I am not going to be able to work for a period of time, it is deemed medically necessary that I cannot perform my job. Disability income decision. That means that I'm officially marked to be disabled by my healthcare provider for either a certain period of time, or in some cases permanently. Then that coverage literally replaces my monthly income. So the purest definition of disability coverage is if I am disabled and cannot work, my income is not interrupted. Now, disability income insurance traditionally covers about 60 to 70% of your gross income. It's meant to be, technically, it's your income minus taxation because it is a tax-free benefit. Does that answer your question, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, David. You know, we just have a varying experience, a group of people here, I know, throughout the call. And so, you know, it, again, is that's very helpful to explain it in a real estate applicable way.
Right.
Yeah.
And to your point, you know, that's the whole thing. A lot of times, because folks maybe haven't heard of it, they say, well, I haven't heard of it. It's not something normally that real estate people get. It doesn't apply to me. Well, quite the opposite. Like I said, in Gary Keller's book, I believe it's in the second section of the book, he says, you must protect your health. You must protect your income. You must protect your life. You know, you are your business. You are the creator of your income. If you know, most people are on sort of that, you know, 30 to 60 day cycle. I mean, there's no regular income in the real estate world, you know, if we're strictly commission based. If we can't get our feet on the ground and go to work, income is interrupted. So you not only have access to an insurance that can protect and continue your income if something you cannot control happens to you, you're able to get it at a group discounted rate through Keller. So what we do when we get together with folks and they say, well, you know, we're a single income household, you know, our income is contingent on my practice. If something happens to me, how do I do that? We do an analysis with you. You know, we look at your incomes, your liabilities, your time frame. You know, we look at your specific situation and we're able to help you determine what's the correct coverage to have in that area. So that's really what disability income insurance does, and it's a bit of an essential. It's a bit of a requisite for any well-built real estate practice. So that's disability coverage. Obviously, health insurance, folks are very aware of that. And you know, the thing about health insurance is it's kind of a bit of a multi-tentacled squid these days between cost and plan design. So the great thing about the Keller Health Plan is that it's a very traditional looking, very traditional acting health plan. Can I keep my doctor? Well, yes, it's health insurance. You can go to any doctor you want in a national network. It's true health insurance. So health insurance, disability coverage. And then, like I said, on the life insurance side, this one is pretty critical too. When we get together with you, our job is to sit and do a proper analysis for you based on your age, your health, the size of your family, your need, if income needs to be replaced, if debt needs to be served, if there's future needs, college education for your children, you know, a certain number of retirement dollars to be in place. We're able to show you how to eliminate that liability. So does anybody have any other questions around the basics of those? Go ahead.
Yeah, so talk a little bit more about the qualifying income. Does it take a period of a couple years? You know, can you be a little bit more descriptive about the parameters?
They normally, we've had a lot of cases where we could look in terms of having 1 full year of income. If we get into a little deeper dive on income, they'll take a look at a 24-month period. Excuse me. It just depends on the amount of coverage. It's like some folks say, well, I've been in real estate for 15 years, but I've only been with Keller for 6 months. That's fine. You've been in the industry long enough. That's going to be easy enough. But usually they're going to look at 1 full year to 2 full years of income as a minimum, you know, one to 2 tax returns just to verify income amounts.
Here would be the thought that I had for the folks that raised their hand that said, hey, I've been in this business for a while. Think about this from what Dave's, in the event that tonight, when you were going home through a sickness or an accident, you didn't make it home, but you weren't going to be able to do your job for the next year or 2 years. How would that impact your family? what we see is we hear a lot of folks that are, well, my income only puts toward the vacation, or my income is this, I'm the sole breadwinner. I'm a single mom. I'm divorced mom. Sometimes you get the guy in the group that's his wife's working a lower paying job and he's the breadwinner. Whatever that scenario may be, think about your income, because we're talking about you. If your income stopped tomorrow and you weren't able to meet, communicate, close business, initiate business, how would that impact the family going forward? Okay, because disability is one of those protections that is put together against what you want to have protected. For instance, it could be protection to age 65 if you were going to go into a long-term disability. It could be a 5-year protection plan, depending on what the budget is, depending on what you've seen in the past, what what gets you going underneath it that really scares you. That's where you'd want to put this protection in place. And I heard a story. I was telling Kim about it. You have KW Cares. Now, KW Cares will help an agent out through donations of about $35,000. So I saw this video and I forgot what market center we were in at the time. And I thought it was a California market center, but it was a gentleman that was a longtime real estate agent that had a heart transplant. So, and they put it on a video for KW Cares, and he was saying how KW Cares really helped him out. Now, would you think, I was thinking about it, if he had, and he didn't say he did or did not, but if he had disability, if he had a good medical plan, then he would be well covered, and KW Cares $35,000 would be a small drop in the bucket to a heart transplant, I would think, to get him back up on the road, right? So, and all of us have responsibilities. So really it's one of those questions that you got to ask yourself, if something happened to me, where would I be tomorrow if my income stopped?
And Ken, that's a really good point. And if everybody sort of understands the basic, that really does help us segue into the bigger picture of what we do with a number of your colleagues. Any other questions around the basics of income protection, around the basis of the basics of life insurance, just basic benefits before we transition?
Everybody understand life insurance, what it does? Because we can go from a basic. It really is. Dave and I look at what your opportunity. Everybody has a value. It's called a human life value. You have a value in which you're going to produce money before you start. When you retire, start pulling your money that you saved back. And what life insurance money does is it puts that money into your family's hands if you don't come home tomorrow, and it allows them to grieve without having a financial worry. Okay, so kids could still go to college, house could still be paid off, money can go into retirement plans, grandkids can still be bounced on the knee of the remaining spouse, whatever the case may be. But life insurance is that protection that's put in place because you love somebody and you want to take care of them, because you're not going to be there to earn an income to provide for the family yourself. Sometimes it's in term. There's a couple different kinds. So there's term, and that's temporary insurance, and that's pennies on the dollar. And then there's permanent insurance, which is more of an investment in yourself for later on. And what Dave and I, when you look at somebody, you got to find out where they are, what they're doing, and what the right strategy is. Not everybody's a pigeonhole for one type of product or another. It's a strategy for what a family needs, what they can afford, what the coverage needs to be. So you want to make sure when you're looking at that kind of stuff, that's pretty simple compared to the disability side, because disability can get complicated. Anyway, Questions on that, guys?
Any questions up to here? And that's really what I wanted to sort of shift the focus of the conversation on, because a lot of time people want to talk about different products. Life insurance is a product. Health insurance is a product. But it's sort of putting the cart before the horse. What's most important is the process. And that's really what I want to focus the majority of the conversation on. We could talk a lot of different, we take a lot of time and we could talk about a specific type of insurance coverage. But that's really, those are really the tools that are used to fix the problems. Those are the what. The most important thing is the why. So what Keller Williams expects you to do with your clients is to take the time to learn who they are, to learn what's important to them, and to build a relationship where everybody wins, where it's the right piece of property in the right area for the right reasons, to really create that valuable, value-based relationship that you continue to have with your client as they grow, as they move on, as they refer people to you. It's the same thing with our relationship with you and your colleagues. The education is the most important part. When we visit with you or one of your colleagues, the first thing we do is we take the time and we learn what's important to you. Are you a single income household? Are you a multiple income household? What brought you to real estate? What are your goals? How do you want the movie to end? Do we want to build a practice, something that has value over time that we can invite our family into and grow? Is it something that we're doing that maybe we want to sell the practice at one point? What are our financial goals? What are the things we want to do along the way? The right college, the trips down the aisle. Me and Vanessa have been married for 30 years. She can't wait in February to see what Alaska looks like from the side of a cruise ship. Of course, it's got to be the one with 400 passengers and not 4,000. But what is the reason why we are creating this career path through ourselves through real estate? And then, of course, what are the things we're doing to meet the goals that we have? A lot of the folks that we talk to when we start a relationship, people put their feet on the ground in the early part of the day. They got 14 things on the go list for the morning, and by 2 o'clock, they're out visiting with people until the sun goes down. But then they'll discover that list was 14 things long, and by the end of the day, it's now 16. So when we visit with you, we sit down, and the first thing is we want to hear from you. What are your goals? What do you hope to accomplish building your practice? But then from there, we learn some technical things about you. What are your incomes and liabilities in your time frame? What are the individual goals in your household, and what does a regular month look like, if there's even such a thing? And if we have irregular income from our business, how do we create the regular action items so that we meet our kids' education goals, our savings goals, we reduce tax, we create wealth over time. A lot of folks are in real estate. They want to not only have a practice, but they want to build their own real estate portfolio. What are the most efficient ways to do that? Do I operate as a sole proprietor? Do I create an entity to limit my liability and to create more tax advantage? So that's really the thing. What I'm hoping everybody understands is yes, there are some foundational requisites that you should look at in terms of having the same benefits. If you should run your business like your own corporation, well, you don't technically have your own corporate benefits package. But beyond that, what's your corporate business plan? I'm sure a lot of folks 24 and 36 months ago, when the market was roaring, maybe they didn't anticipate this much of a pullback this quickly in the market. Well, for folks who are well organized, that's not something that really affects their plan. Keller Williams is very good, and you've got a lot of resources around how to properly market and have several spokes in that area as far as your marketing opportunities. But again, most people, that focus has got to be on driving the business. Well, if we're driving the business and we're starting to create results, what are we doing to have a good, competent architecture in place for not only cash flowing the business, but cash flowing the household, and then hopefully creating more wealth as a result of that. Bear with me, I'm sorry. Thank you. I thought I'd turn that off. I apologize. So let's talk a little bit about those issues. Let's talk a little bit about some of that. Should I operate as a sole proprietor or should I create an entity? A lot of times we have folks, they're starting out their practice. The first thing they want to do is start an LLC and do all these things. Well, there's a question. Does it make sense to build the business and build the cash flow that justifies the entity? Or do we start with the entity first? Well, maybe we build the business first. But then as we build the business, are we accommodating for tax? How do we create the right accounts where we're not only setting dollars aside to cash flow the business, but we're also not going to get stung with taxes when we get to the end of the year? These are the kind of things that need addressing. For the folks that we work with, the first thing we do is we give you great tools. We had a $1.4 billion technology upgrade just a few years back. And the first thing we do is we try to give our clients good technical tools so that if you're focusing some time on your personal financial and your business financial life, that it's time that's efficiently spent. I want everybody on this call to know that you all have access to these tools. It's called Investor 360 or I360. For our clients, on one screen on their phone, one screen on their computer, they can hit a button. Every single one of their financial accounts, their mortgage, their bank accounts, their children's educational accounts, their car loan, everything all in one place, updating in real time, not only to the market, but to tax, to regulation. And this gives folks a landing ground to literally see where they are financially along the way. So if any of you do not have a tool or a resource to get everything together, then the first thing I want to let you know is that everybody who's on that call, we can get you this resource. And if that's something that is helpful and that's something that starts a conversation where we can maybe help you do a little fact finding and help you start to organize your goals from immediate to your very most long term, then that's something that I think could be very helpful for you. Any questions? Are there any specific topics that anybody wants to cover when it comes to practice building, debt service, cash flow management? There's a myriad of subjects we could cover here in the time we have. I'm hoping the takeaway everybody gets is take the time to reach out to Ken and take 15 or 20 minutes, either in person or over the phone or via Zoom, and let us do a little bit of an initial fact find for you. But are there any general, personal wealth building, personal tax, practice building questions that anyone has?
Hi Ken, hi Dave. I have a quick question, and back to the health insurance. So because y'all are partnered up with Keller Williams now, so if a single agent is interested in the health insurance, is it now the KW group rate? I just want to clarify that.
I don't say that again. Group rate?
For health insurance. So for a solo agent that doesn't have health insurance today, and let's say they go to you guys and they're like, hey, I want the health insurance. So are y'all like part of a KW group rate for them?
Yeah, well, it's Keller Williams' own specific program.
Okay, perfect.
Any licensed agent who's with Keller Williams, any 1099 licensed agents who's with Keller Williams, can sign up for the health insurance for themselves independence, for themselves and spouse, or for themselves spouse independence, just like if they work for a large company.
Got it. Thank you.
Can I add a question to that? As far as qualifying, you said any agent that's 1099, but does their production level matter at all? If they're part-time agent or full-time?
If they are licensed and they have an agent number through Keller Williams, I believe that if I remember correctly, it's the sort of the location code and the last four of the Social Security, I think. Is that correct?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as they have one of those, it's fine. Now, side note, if your practice is at a size where you're running a practice and you in your own practice have W-2 employees, There's also resources for that as well. Okay, because sometimes we come to folks and they say, well, I'm Keller Williams, but I have 14 people in my practice and 5 are licensed agents and 9 of them are W-2 through Hera Practice. There are resources for that as well. Like I said, first page of the website, if you scroll down and say, if you are W-2, there's still availability there. But again, the real answer is just give us a call and we can make sure that you've got the resource that you need to abbreviate the process.
Okay,
And
thank you.
And Ken, is there any type of obligation with this meeting with you? You know, we sit down and talk. Does it cost anything?
No? Just your time.
Yeah.
Well, we have
You know-
never had anybody who said that it wasn't a good resource. It's you know, we're here to try to help reduce your load and be more efficient with your time. We're not here to we're not here in the end to show you how to spend your money. We're here to show you how to keep as much of it as possible.
Right. And
Well-
is there anything that maybe we don't know to ask you that would be help us in our wealth building?
Yes, yes. Couple of great questions that you should ask Ken. Taxes are never going to be as low as they are today for us as working people in the United States of America. We are 34 trillion in debt. And as early as January of 2026, the Tax Cuts and Job Act will be sunsetting. What can I do immediately to not only create some tax relief for my practice in the year that I'm earning my dollars, but to eliminate taxation later on when I am in my retirement years? Another way to ask that question, how do I keep more of what I make immediately and in the long run? That's a question you must ask Ken Bowley. It has never been more important. Never been more important. 34 trillion in debt, and they did not hire 87,000 new IRS agents to look good. For those of you who are just starting your practice, what you need to ask Ken is, I'm just starting my practice in real estate, and for several years I was in another industry. How do I position myself so that the resources I have accumulated till now are best positioned to support my business now? And, you know, if I was in another industry and I had an old retirement, how do I best protect those dollars I've already saved as I'm in a transition? The answer to the question is call Ken. Let him do an evaluation on it. I'm a 1099 small business and I'm a sole proprietor, but I want my children to go to the university of wherever the heck they want. What do I do now to best position my children to be most attractive to the universities that they'll have the most success at? It's a very important question to ask Ken Bowley. Is my estate planning done? If I am not here tomorrow, or God forbid I do have an accident, do I have a power of attorney? Do I have a will? Do I have a healthcare directive to make sure that the proper decisions are made for myself and that my family is protected from having to make very difficult decisions? Is my estate planning done? Probably ask Ken Bowley how that is crucial to the success not only of a business but of a family. So
Here's another
go ahead,
that you'd
Ken.
want to ask Dave. If something happens to me when I'm in my retirement, do I have enough money, knowing what you know today about any kind of long-term care? Do I have money to carry that so it doesn't empty the accounts of my spouse? You know, how do we take and put that protection in place today? And if I don't use it, how can I make that dollar do something different? It's a good one for Dave. See, there's a lot of things to think about. And what Dave and I do is we put those thoughts out there over a course of time. Sounds like a lot right now, right? we build our relationships, our client base, one at a time, by building a relationship with each client and understanding what they need, what they have, what's their concerns, what's their fears. Do they want to bounce babies off their knee, off of a beach house or off of a lake house, or get in an RV and come to the north? That'd be kind of different from you guys coming over this way to go across those Rockies. David?
Here's a good one. For those of you who are building successful practices, how can Ken and Dave help motivate my clients to take action in an uncertain market right now? I am most certain all of you have situations where, because of interest rates and other issues, you've got folks who are maybe hesitant to pull the trigger and make the step. For those of you who are in that position, or for those of you who have advanced clients, and how do I leverage a fiduciary financial advisor like Ken? How can he help me and bring value to the table when I have clients who maybe are hesitant because they don't understand enough of their own picture? On a weekly basis, so your colleagues call me and they say, I'd like to introduce you to one of my clients, but they're not sure whether or not they can do it. Well, we'll do that analysis with them. I have some situations where folks are concerned, folks want to add real estate as an investment portion in their overall picture. And sometimes agents aren't really dynamic in having the conversation about maybe using qualified or retirement dollars, exchanging those dollars that maybe are in investment positions to being able to buy or sell personal or commercial real estate with those dollars. And this creates a real win-win situation for some folks. You've got a client who's got an underperforming portion of their portfolio. Like right now, a lot of folks in their bond positions, there's a lot of uncertainty because as bonds start to grow in interest rates, bond portfolios will contract. And folks are looking for ways to create more predictability of income in retirement, as well as growth. Well, how do we take like a retirement account and use those dollars to purchase real estate? This is something that we've talked to a lot of your cohort's clients about. So again, it's not just about your personal wealth. Having a financial advisor on your team positions you not just as a real estate agent, it positions you as the trusted advisor in the relationship that you have with your clientele. Be the solution provider. So if there's situations where we can help you work with a client who's maybe on the fence, then we're here to help you advance those relationships as well. So that's another thing that you could ask yourself. What else, guys?
Hey, quick question, go ahead.
Hi guys, yeah, so when you're meeting with one of our clients, you basically calculate what their return.
I'm sorry, can you move a little closer to the microphone? We can't hear you.
Yeah, speak a little louder. So when you're meeting with the clients, what do you say?
They do calculation whether what the portfolio has, is that better return than what they get by real estate? Is that what they do?
Oh, so I see what you're saying. So so you're meeting with the clients, clarify what that means when you're meeting with the clients. When you're meeting with them, you're calculating whether or not their portfolio would be more beneficial for them to purchase. Is that what we're investing? Is that what you're talking about?
I still don't quite understand the question, but if I think what you might be asking is do we have situations where when we visit with clients, their question is real estate, how to properly position real estate in their portfolio, their overall wealth building portfolio?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Clarify that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We could do an analytic review. A client recently, this is down the Huntsville area, one of your colleagues, and it was real simple. There's an up and coming neighborhood there, and some of these properties are, bordering on seven figures, and obviously with talk about space, Space Force and everything, Huntsville is a very, very hot market right now. And they called me and they said, I've got somebody, they're coming in from the Washington DC area. They not only are looking for a house, but they're thinking about purchasing some larger homes to own and to rent, because there's going to be some fluidity in that market with some, higher dollar individuals coming in from the Washington area, but they're not sure whether or not that's a good move. More importantly, they want to do it with their qualified dollars. They want to do it with basically, individual retirement account dollars. Is this something that you could show them the dynamics of and do some analytics on? The answer is yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's great, because your colleague on the introduction, they're now, they're bringing great knowledge to their client, but more importantly, the client has got the confidence to move forward and that transaction is going to happen. Everybody wins.
It's a resource, just like Tim, you could use us if you're trying to recruit somebody to come in and they have other questions. You could say, hey, maybe you want to talk to the guys from Capstones. They're our partners and they covered this area for us. See what we have to offer compared to whatever platform they're on right now, EXP, CrowdLife, whatever it is.
Ken, that's a really good point. Keller Williams at the national level, it's their goal to grow the organization to be something so unique in the real estate area, in the real estate market, that the best and the brightest and the most successful end their careers with Keller Williams. How many other real estate agencies have their own health insurance plan? Have fiduciary advisors on call, have those types of relationships. So yeah, it's leverage. If it helps any individual on this call build your own practice, if it helps you help the folks who maybe, if you have a larger practice and people under you, if it helps you help the people who work for you be more successful, what does that create? That creates that reduces turnover, that creates a stronger community, that creates more success on the individual and on the market center level. We are coming up here. We've got just a few minutes left. Are there any other questions or anything else that we can help you guys with today?
None over here. We just thank you for sharing a little bit more about this and just really how important it is. And then also, of course, the delicious food. Thank you.
Well, the most important, like I said, the most important takeaway I hope everybody has today is give Ken a call, say hello. Carve out, 20, 25 minutes, maybe via Zoom. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But the key to success in any industry is leveraging the experience and leveraging the education of those around you. So I hope all of you get a chance to visit with Ken. I hope for the leadership in the room, I hope that maybe we can revisit, or as you guys are doing educational stuff for your market centers, please let us know what topics specifically you want to hear more about. The new tax brackets for 2024, the new limits, how to put a retirement plan in place for a small practice, individual 401k or a simplified employee retirement plan. How do you do that? How do you create more net dollars with less taxation? Let us know what the topics are that are important to you, and we can laser focus in and really take a deep dive on any one of those things. That's all I have for today. I want to say thank you to you all. Continued success. As you're building your business plans for 2024, let us know if we can be part of your success. That's all I have. Thank you all very much, Ken.
That's all I have. We're here to help you guys. Talking is free. 20 minutes. We call it the Pepsi Challenge out here in the Midwest. Dave and I will take the Pepsi Challenge and see if we spend an hour with you and see if we can help you out. If we can help you out, we'll let you know the strategies that'll help you. That's it.
Thank you so much, both of you. We've passed out your contact info as well as the website for all the attendees here. So we encourage them all to reach out to you and set up that meeting. But thank you so much for taking the time.
Kim, thank you very much for your time putting this together for us, and Manny's encouragement to put the educational seminar on for these guys. So it'd be awesome.
Continued success, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
And Ken, I'll text you now.
Okay.
And
thanks.
do you ever come out to the West Coast?
Not unless I have a reason.
Oh, I see, I see. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking that the business planning clinic that we're having on November 30th, but I know that's kind of short notice. That would be a good time to get in front of people. We have probably about 75 attendees so far. And
Maybe
but
we can zoom in like this and just, if they're all in the same area, we can zoom in and you guys tell us what you want to focus in on. That business planning is so important from the baseline.
yeah,
Like, they've got to understand what's happening and we find so many people don't understand what's happening in their own home, right? To do any kind of planning, you got to understand the dynamics of what the cash at home, right? And say, okay, let's move to this level. How do I do that? Because time, money, experience, education, they're all demands on people. But understanding what's turning in your own house has got to be the basic of going, okay, this is what I want to do. Because there could be some people that are really happy with their business today, right? I didn't want to say it on there. I didn't want to scare anybody, but seeing 30% of the people that are not going to be here next year, out of there's going to be 3 people in those rooms.
Yeah.
Statistically, not going to be, if we held this 1 year from now, it won't be.
No, we've been saying the same thing to them, yeah, there's
I didn't feel it was.
Look to your right and to your left. You might not see those people next year.
Yeah, I didn't want to use a scare tactic.
Yeah,
This wasn't what it was about. It's really about
right.
following a process, just like you guys do when you're planning on how to create more activity. Same here. And you could see more and more businesses. I bet you, if your people are on YouTube shorts like I do, I look at shorts when I want to shut my brain off. I get slammed with financial marketing people. You want to increase this, you want to increase that, it's still about the same thing. Someone's got to reach out to call a person and say, hey, can I help you out?
Right,
Are
right.
you interested in, right?
Right.
That right person. So
Yeah.
definitely want to be there. If we can be there for an hour, if you liked what you heard, was Manny in the room?
No, he's out of town right now. But well, this platform is a little different. I mean, the format for the business planning clinic, like I said, we hire this business coach. It's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But we usually ask for someone to sponsor, and this particular coach always likes us to partner with someone, a financial advisor, because for all the reasons we just talked about, that's the focus on how to save money, build money and everything. So it just makes sense than having somebody from title or our usual go-tos. So, so that's what we have one company that we work with regularly, and I'm just having a difficult time securing them. But we usually have them just speak during their lunch. They have a break for lunch, and that's usually when we have this sponsor come and just talk for 5 or 10 minutes about what not so much a class like this, but just about what their offerings are or whatever. So I don't know. That's why I was wondering if that is a good fit for you, because especially since if you were in person, you could stick around and talk to people, make appointments, and so I don't know.
Yeah, here it's up to them to come and contact me and stuff like that. And I hope they do. Hope they want to explore what's going on a little bit farther, and they look at the website. So one of the
Yes.
other questions that you asked was to get the health insurance, they have to be an LLC. They have to have an EIN number. Now, it does not
Oh.
have to be a Keller Williams real estate LLC. It could be, DIY home stuff.
Okay.
But that comes out of Gary's book about he wants an agent to create that LLC to put that
Mhm.
protection around them.
Yeah.
As they start building their business. So you had only one new guy that I saw raise their hand in one of the back.
Yes.
So everybody else should have an LLC if they're listening to what Gary talks about on his podcast
Right,
or in his books, right? So
right.
or should know the questions. I know we didn't get to it, but encourage your folks. I hope we did you well. Encourage them.
Yeah.
I'll Venmo the cash in is when I get that, and we'll take care of it.
Okay, and then we have 2 other offices that one of the agents in their office decided to have a vendor fair, and she had Costco and all these, and it was at the exact same time. So I told them, you'll have to schedule a different one. She was looking at December 5th. I don't know if that works for you.
That'll work. I'm sure it
Okay.
will, to take a look at it. It's far enough
Okay.
out right now.
And is there a time frame that works in the day, or?
You take a look real quick for the 2 offices you're going to
Yeah,
talk.
December 5th. It would at least be the South Bay office, which is in Torrance, California, and it could be also the Palos Verdes office.
So if we got on December 5th, right now, both of us are open at the 12. It's what was it? 1:30? 1:30 time frame. Yeah, I can put it as a placeholder here if it works.
Okay. Let's go ahead and schedule that for sure. I know South Bay will want that. That's the date they asked me to check. So that
Okay.
works for them.
All right.
Yes.
You got it then.
Yeah, I think that'll be great. And then if it's okay, when Minnie gets back in town, can I ask him if that, I mean, like, I know ideally it would be best if you were in person, but can I ask him his thoughts on having you Zoom in if you were our guest sponsor?
What would a sponsorship cost?
It's $200 for pizza again. You're gonna be known for pizza.
For everybody on this. Now, most of these people once I run through the offices the first time, I think,
Yes, that's true.
We've had 10 people on that have had an interest in it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So,
It might be a lot. Right. Let's just focus on the classes then.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
And we'll see what happens.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell Manny tell him what you thought of the outcome in the class and if it was worth time.
Yes.
Even though he kind of put it together, and we'll see what happens from there. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Catch you later.
Bye.